from the pages of Odin Journal to your speakers. This is The Juice by the Odin Journal. Davis County News, freshly squeezed.
Welcome to the Juice Podcast by the Odin Journal. I'm your co-host, Grant Swartzentruber. Each week, we will bring you an interesting interview on local news, politics, and sports. And if you're lucky, we'll talk about faith, culture, and politics. And today, we're talking to Kristi Risk. How are you, Kristi?
I'm well. How are you, Grant?
Thank you for coming. And I appreciate you taking the time to come down here. And what I like to do is start off by getting to know the person that we're interviewing. I know that you're running for office. Mm-hmm. And we'll try to keep it light for the first bit here, but tell me why you want to be involved in political elected office. We can talk a little bit about, we met via the political world.
Yes.
And I know you work in the Lieutenant Governor's office currently. I do. Mm-hmm. And right now you're running for a state Senate seat.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your desire to be in community service and be in elected politics.
So I think, the desire is to see, I've always kind of felt like
come a little closer to that.
Southern Indiana is kind of like the redheaded stepchild to Northern Indiana. Sure. It always feels like they kind of get a little more love than we do. Sure. And I look at our district and I think we have such potential, and why not us? Why not now? But part of it is I've just been involved behind the scenes. I've been in politics since I was 18 in some type of respect, right? So my very first...
I'm not going to ask you how old you are.
Don't, please.
But it's been a couple years.
20, no.
Yeah,
so anyways, my very first stint was a battle with eminent domain. So
So tell me about that. You worked in eminent domain and that got you interested in politics?
Well, so I turned 18 and I was going to vote. And across the overpass from where we lived, there were some farmers and they were going to take their land. And so I got a bunch of the people together and we went to the commissioners and we stopped that land grab. So after that, I was like, ooh, there's really power in the people. And so I just stayed involved in different aspects, most of the time door knocking, canvassing. I love the grassroots. And then I ran for office myself. And but when this opportunity came up, it was actually a representative that came to me and told me about it and said, hey, Senator Basler's going to retire. And I was like, I haven't heard that. But then I did hear about that he was going to retire later and asked him myself, and he said yes. And so I just, prayed about it for the whole last summer, kept talking to people, kind of feeling it out. And then I thought, you know what? I have tons of network with senators, legislatures. I've been a chief of staff in, DC. So I'm thinking to myself, I've got something that I can bring to this district, and that is helping network our people in our district and just allow our district to shine.
Okay. Yeah. I've known you for some time. We met in the political world. You mentioned earlier that you worked on you were a chief of staff.
Yes.
That's for a sitting congressperson, correct?
Right, correct. Congresswoman Spartz.
Spartz?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know I met her.
And she's a freedom person. She's a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She is quite the...
Firecracker?
Oh, yes, she's quite the firecracker. I met her when she was still in the state Senate, and I know she's from the Ukraine.
Yes.
So it kind of elevated her her profile when she was the first or one of the only Ukrainian-born persons we've ever had to be in federal elected politics. Yes. And she is a freedom person.
She is.
I think she's like in accounting or something.
She's
in
CPA.
Finance. Okay. Yeah. But
she's passionate about protecting our liberty.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, when you told me that, I was like, wow, she's tough.
Yeah.
So is that kind of how you, you've been in that arena, but that kind of is, do you see yourself in the mold of like a freedom-loving person? You fought,
absolutely,
done the eminent domain type work.
Yeah, well, in 2010, when the whole Tea Party movement came through, that was all right up the alley of where I'm like, limited government, freedom, rights, leave us alone, let us enjoy life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And also, and this is something I like to talk about in our podcast, faith and culture and politics. Because politics, I've mentioned this with other people, it's kind of, as they say, downstream from how we are.
Absolutely.
And so I liked that you said in your initial comments there that you'd prayed a lot about it before you decided to jump in the ring. Tell me how your faith impacts how you make decisions.
Well, everybody's going to be legislated by morality in their own life. So no matter what side of the coin you're on when you're elected, your convictions, your moral compass, that's going to drive how you vote. Are you going to be a person of integrity? Are you going to be a person that talks out of both sides of your mouth? Are you going to look at something and say, is this freedom-minded or is this infringing, and those type of things? And I think being a person of faith, integrity is very important to me.
For sure.
Freedom's very important. I believe that, we need to protect people's rights and those things. And I think that part of faith is what helps me say that when I'm going to do something. And one of the things I tell people all the time when I talk to groups and they're like, about your voting, I said, if I go in there and I'm determined I'm going to vote one way, but something happens to change my mind, maybe through caucus or I'll call you and let you know, whoever those groups are that I'm talking to. So I think that type of transparency is driven by my desire to be faithful and to be a person of integrity.
Oh, yeah. To be honest,
yes,
is critical. We tend to forget that at times, and I worry that I just worry about our political world and how people don't have integrity like maybe your parents or grandparents did in the past. So I really do like to hear that.
We had a good example, though, in Senator Bassler.
I do think we have a good example in Senator Bassler. He's a close friend. He's the first interview that I did on this podcast was with Senator Bassler. I didn't know him at all when we started, but I agree with you.
Yeah, when he retired and they had a resolution for him, because every time a senator retires, they do that. I was really moved listening to the other senators talking about him. And that's very telling when those senators are saying, this is someone I could go to, this is someone I could trust, this is someone I saw contemplating. I don't think he took any of his votes lightly. Whether you agree with them or not,
right.
I don't think he just willy-nilly voted. He thought them through.
Yeah, he didn't simply listen to what he was told to do. Or what the most powerful person that he knew, what they told him to do. I mean, he cares about constituents. He doesn't want to do something foolish. He's not going to just follow the party line vote.
Right.
And I wonder, is that kind of a model that you think in those terms?
I do. I'm an independent thinker, and I like to listen. So I learned very well working for someone before how to listen to people. But it's kind of like this. You're going to please some of the people all the time. You're going to please all of the people some of the time, but you're never going to please everybody. Right. But when you lay your head down at night, you got to be able to go to sleep thinking, I did the best. I tried to be integrous. I did, what I think was right.
Yeah. Got to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to look at your spouse and explain your vote.
Well, I don't agree with my husband 100% of the time, so I'm certain we'll be there.
I remember even Eric talking about how he wouldn't always vote the way that, Julie, like, why'd you vote that way? Julie Bassler is Eric's spouse, but also on, I think it was the cursive writing, the cursive writing bill that Senator Jean Lysing would periodically bring.
Yes.
And so it never, to my knowledge, it didn't always have the votes. And you kind of see that play out. Like there's, like young people, I don't ever see them writing in cursive. I just don't.
Yeah, you don't very often.
Now, is that the end of the world? There are other things that are the end of the world.
Yes.
But, I don't know. But that was something Julie was passionate about. And it's like, well, I don't know. How to
I'll have a friend in Julie, because I think they should write cursive too.
Well, there is this idea, and this is the Odin Journal podcast, this idea of tradition being something. We call ourselves the traditional voice of Davis County. And I don't know that we are, but that's got a double meaning. Like, traditions are a thing.
Yes.
Because
they create your culture.
Yeah.
They mold you.
They mean something.
Mold your society.
Yeah. And there are these moral writers, one of whom I'm thinking of is G.K. Chesterton, who talks about traditions. We can't just toss traditions without knowing why they are what they are. Now, we don't want to just do something because.
Right.
But oftentimes there's a reason. For another instance is like the Electoral College. I've had our local politicos in 2016 and 2020 complaining about the Electoral College if it wasn't going to go the way that they wanted it.
Right.
And like, hey, we need to get rid of the Electoral College. Well, we don't get rid of something
Kind of like
tradition,
property
just
taxes.
because- yeah.
Everybody wants to get rid of property taxes, but they still want their fire, right? Which
We need
I get that.
services.
We need our services.
For sure.
I do feel like they're restrictive, but again, we do need our services.
For sure. We have to have certain things. We have to have a way to pay for it. Let's get to property tax in a little bit. But I want to know about your current role. You're in a position where you're serving people.
Yes.
I know you work in the lieutenant governor's
I do.
office. Work for the state of Indiana. So tell me a little bit about what you do right now, Kristi.
So I'm the director of government affairs, and it's everything south of 70. So all the counties south of 70 are mine, and I work with the commissioners, the council. I meet with the economic development chambers. Try to be a liaison between the state agencies, and then if it's something
So in the
agriculture,
southern part of the state,
yes.
is that right?
So if it's agricultural or something that the lieutenant governor is, it's in his purview, I take it to him. So escalate it, and then I also created the mobile offices. So that was patterned off of working for Congresswoman Sparts. We'd never had that in the state. So we have mobile offices where we go into the counties, and then we're open for 3 hours or so where people can come if they have concerns. And we've done quite a bit of constituent service through that.
Very good. What do you enjoy about that role?
I like people.
Yeah.
So
I can tell.
I like people. So I like listening. I love problem solving. It's one of my favorite things is problem solving. And I don't even care if I'm in the front or if anybody knows my name. If we help get a problem solved, that's what I like to do.
Tell me about that. What is something that you felt like you've been able to accomplish something for someone as part of this role?
Well, so I've got a friend in Oakland City, the mayor, who's now my friend. So he's having some issues with Casey's on I-69. They want to come in. He hasn't been able to get any traction with that. And so
zoning in Gibson County?
they do. But in this instance, it's an NDOT issue. And so he kept hitting up against a brick wall. And so I called him one day because I'd met with him before, and I just called him to check back in and say, hey, how are things going? Yeah. He told me. And I said, I think I can help you with this. And so I went straight up to NDOT and got in with the commissioner and got him a meeting. And he walked in and they'd already had a couple of new scenarios. So it was good, that kind of stuff. That's what I like to do.
You're a problem solver.
Yeah. I like to problem solve,
I also know, from your past, you are an entrepreneur. You've had some businesses. What types of things have you done in the past, just in the business world?
Yeah, so the most recent was we had chocolate manufacturing. And I often say if we were in Greenwood or, Hamilton County or someplace really big like that, we'd still be doing it. Now we're co-manufacturing. But it was, 12 years or so of R&D and then getting out there, taking it to Chicago, being nominated for Most Innovative Product. We've done a lot of things. But during COVID, this is one of the stories that, when you're doing it, you don't think anything about it.
Sure.
We had 6 pallets of candy that were supposed to be shipped. Well, COVID hit, and so the company out east sent us a message, said, we're closing our stores. We don't want this. So here we sat with 6 pallets of candy. So we put it in bags, and we put little encouraging notes on the bags, and we delivered them to I think it was almost 1,200 doors in our county, just hung them on the doors.
Good for you.
And gave because we were going to throw it away or whatever. So we gave it away. And then we turned our manufacturing because we couldn't, make the product or sell it. And we started making hand sanitizer. So I found a company out in California, worked with them, got the isopropyl, learned how we could make it. And so we actually made the hand sanitizer for our schools and sheriff department and stuff.
Was that during COVID era? I see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah, it was right. Just shortly after it shut down and there was a shortage.
So what made it, you talked about it being a very innovative product. What was the innovation that they...
So, we used to make candy trays, and our kids and I would take it around and we'd carol, and then people started saying, hey, can I buy some of that stuff? So we made fudge from scratch, and this is my mom's recipe.
Wow.
But I needed something innovative. So we went to Chicago a couple times, went to some trade shows. And then this is back when, now I like to take credit for this, even though it's probably not. But Hershey's and those, they started doing those little bite-sized pieces in the bags. Well, we were doing that before them. We made the fudge, cut it in bite-sized pieces, and enrobed it in chocolate. Oh. So it was a niche product. We had to create the USTPO for it. So it was a lot of fun.
Very cool. I didn't know that much about, but you're no longer doing that, or you
We make it. Well, so we have the product. It's our product. product. We just have a company that's manufacturing it. So we don't have the overhead anymore. But we still have the building and everything. Yeah.
Maybe we'll have next time you're in town.
Yeah.
I'd like to buy some.
Okay.
I'd like to just show our audience maybe that we've got some.
Yeah, they can go on QVC and see what it was, because we were on QVC quite a few times. Watch the videos with Kelsey, though, because she's like excellent. I was terrible.
Okay, Kelsey's your daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really helped a lot on
Yes,
the
she has.
political trail. How many children you have?
I have 4.
You have 4.
So I have 3 boys in the Army.
Okay.
All went into the Army within 8 weeks of each other, which was shocking because we knew one was going in. We didn't know the other 2 were.
And then one girl, Kelsey.
Yes.
Okay.
My daughter,
Are
Kelsey.
the boys around here? Where are they right now?
Well, I've got 2 in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and then 1 in Nuremberg, Germany. And he goes in and out of Ukraine training.
Wow. So kind of a military family.
Yes.
Kind of military background.
Yeah.
And your spouse, you're married?
Yes.
And what's his
34
name?
years.
Oh, good for
David.
you. David
We
Rist.
were high school sweethearts.
Oh, very good. Where'd you go to high school?
Triton Central.
Triton Central.
Both of us. Yep. He lived
how'd
on
you
one
get
side of the
down to
overpass and I lived on the other.
How'd you get to Owen County?
We were looking for something pretty. It's just beautiful there. You know,
Where's Triton, though? Is that
Fairland.
north?
Fairland, Shelby County.
Shelby County. Okay.
Yeah.
Southeast.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is really funny because I can't believe how many people out of my class, you know, there's a commissioner, sheriff. I mean, there's just several people involved in politics from my class. It had to have been Mr. Mendenhall.
Who's Mr. Mendenhall?
He was our government econ teacher. Yeah.
I see. So in Shelby County, that's Shelbyville is
Yes.
the county seat. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not far. It's a little bit south and east towards Louisville from Indianapolis, correct?
Yep. Right.
Okay. And then you made it to
Towards Cincinnati.
towards Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yep.
And you made it to Spencer, Owen County.
Yes.
And you live in Freedom.
No, we live in Spencer. We actually live in Spencer. Yeah, we're landlocked by the state forestry, so it's really beautiful where we live.
Wow.
But when we were out looking, we were just driving. We just started driving. We knew how far David works at the airport, so we knew how far we wanted to go. So we looked in all different directions. But boy, when we drove through Owen
He
County,
works
it's
at,
gorgeous.
which airport?
The Indianapolis International
ID.
Airport. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah. He's an A&P for FedEx.
Oh yeah. So I didn't know this about you. I'm really getting to know more about
Yeah.
you. But you love community service.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 4-H. Yep. We started the National Wild Turkey Federation, and my husband was very big into hunting. All of my kids hunt. Right. They all know how to shoot. They all have safety on that. So we used to take out the kids and the handicap people to go hunting and stuff like. So we did Hunters Helping Handicap. Mm-hmm.
Wow. You've done a lot of different stuff.
I have. David and I talked about that the other day, and we're like, we've really done a lot of things in our life, and it's been fun to do it with him because it doesn't feel like it's been 34 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. And I know you've ran for Congress. What year would you have run?
That was 2010.
2010.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was the Tea Party.
Yes.
The Tea Party movement at the time.
Yep.
Wow. So I have kind of known who you were for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Okay, would you see yourself kind of in the mold of a Congresswoman Sparks, the Lieutenant Governor, the Tea Party movement? Is that kind of your...
Yeah, I mean, I'm an independent thinker.
Okay.
I didn't go to the Tea Party. They came to me. They were like, hey, we love what you stand for. We love your views. We want you to, be on our team. And so that's kind of how I got adopted there. With Congresswoman Sparks, I got asked if I would go work for her and, assist with that. So we interviewed, and she and I just connected because we're both very liberty-minded. And we're like, this country's, going to hell in a handbag. We got to do something about it. So, and I love that fire in her. So I enjoyed it. I learned so much under her. And then with the Lieutenant Governor, I mean, he's very faith-based. He's a very good boss to work for. He's very kind to his staff. And so I enjoyed, I wanted to come back to Indiana is really what it boiled down to, because in D.C.'s rough. It's rough. It's very rough.
The country is going to hell in a handbasket if you spend much time in D.C.
Yeah, it's rough. So being back in Indiana, but the thing about Indiana is that's where you get stuff done. Right. That's where you really accomplish things. That's where you're closest to people. I love the people. In DC, it felt very distant. But here we can get stuff done.
It feels hard to move the needle.
Yes.
You're one member of, 435 in Congress.
Okay, so I was there a year, and we passed one bill, and that was the renaming of a post office. It's just very difficult.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be difficult. Okay, let's bounce then to what you would want to see happen if you're successful in this particular campaign, what are some things that give me 3 ideas that would be kind of a dream of yours.
Well, a dream would be to see nuclear in Crane. I would love to see that. That would be amazing. And we're actually working on some different scenarios to bring that to pass. I want to see more in our agriculture. We have a lot of agriculture in Knox County. Davies County has a lot of agriculture, and I think that we have an opportunity to really expand that. I'd love to see us exporting more of our ag and have that opportunity. And then I think probably the other thing is to see our county economic development really grow and I'm not talking like, I don't want to be Hamilton County in our counties, right? Mm-hmm. But we do need some economic growth. Our people they need to have jobs. They need to have money. They need to have the ability to choose where they're working and not be limited. So I want to see that. I want to see the growth. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. Within the, say, 6 or 7 counties in Senate District 39, how many counties are in?
6.
6, okay.
So, yeah.
It used to be 7, and now it's
right.
6.
Clay County's out now. See you, Clay. Jody.
Yeah.
Bye, Jody.
See you, Clay. Davis County has always, at least in the last little bit, been entirely in Senate District 39. From what I know, Davis County is one of the few growing population.
It is growing, yes.
In Senate District 39. And why do you think that is? I mean, we talked a little bit about, I mentioned to you earlier that I was writing about the Wagglers being in Davis County. And that's what I really see as the sort of the growth model. They have large, Amish and Mennonite will largely have large families and they stay close, stay local, which is a nice thing. I want to have my kids stay close by. But I know that some of them are going to leave and hopefully some of them come back. But why do you think, even Davis County, what makes it different? And why are we growing in population?
Well, I mean, definitely your Amish population has a lot to do with it. Right. I mean, they're very industrious and their businesses are successful and they have children. I mean, when families have 1 or 2 children, it's kind of hard to keep the population up. So, I mean, that's a practical part of it. But I just think, too, you have a lot of vision here.
Yeah.
And I think the Bible's very clear. It says, where there's no vision, my people perish, right? And that's not a criticism on the others, because I'm talking to the other counties too, and they're on the growth, right? So Martin County is doing some great things over there, and they've had some struggles like with their water and different things, but we're getting that taken care of.
Topography is tough.
It is.
Central Indiana. It's very
and
hilly.
A whole bunch of a third of their county, they can't get property taxes off of or anything because it's military and it's forestry. So, but they're becoming quite innovative over there. So I think between Davies and Martin, you could have a little Nashville, just a beautiful, it's so gorgeous. And I think just having that vision, which they are sparking at, because I've been over there talking to them, Sullivan has some real opportunities coming to them right now. So they're in the work.
County,
yes.
The town of Sullivan.
Yes. So they're working on that. And I think for a long time, we've just kind of been overlooked too on economic development and things like that. But up in Greene County, they've got Crane and they're growing with Crane. And then Knox County, they just had a gentleman that just bought a whole area down there and developed it for growth. So they're going to have a lot of new business coming in.
Where was that? What?
It was downtown.
Okay.
Right along the main street down there. Yeah. Wow. A gentleman invested in it. And so I think also some of it is just having, you get, it's kind of like getting new fresh blood, fresh ideas. And so there's some of that, but I believe too in institutional knowledge. So, I've talked to some of the people that helped found that whole West Park thing. And it's like, wow, they have a lot. And I've told them, I said, you still need to be involved. We still need to glean from the things that you did and stuff. So
we need people to stay engaged and stay in the game.
Yeah.
Instead of just leaving and.
But Davies is also your situation where you're at, your situational position.
Physical location.
Yeah, your physical location is. So I actually told somebody today, I said, from Indianapolis to Evansville, you guys are getting ready to be the main stop right in the center. Yeah. You really are.
No, I think that's right. I mean, it's a great place to be. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but I moved back approximately 15 years ago. It was from here to Evansville, Cincinnati, Ohio, and then back to Davis County, and I love it. Like,
But look what you're doing to your downtown.
Sure.
Like that revitalization is amazing.
yeah, it's really good. The Washington downtown there's been a lot of growth. Odin, there's a lot of growth in
Yes.
the northern part of the county.
You have a new group up there.
Yeah.
You got, and I went to that first meeting. And so that's what I'm talking about, getting people in there that have vision, who have drive, who have desire, who won't say no. They're like, we're going to get this done. That's what's happening. That's what I'm seeing over in Martin County. They're coming together and they're like, we're changing this over here. So I think as people, do those kind of things, they have that opportunity growth. But I remember when Washington in 2010, when it was like, I thought it was it's night and day. It's beautiful.
You know why that is? Swords and Troopers moved here in 2011.
Is that what it? Okay, very good. Great. We need to get some more of your family spread out through the district.
Mostly a joke.
I know.
So let's talk about, because I want to, one of the things that I've really wanted to hear from you about is parental decision making, parental choice, kind of a hot topic in the state legislature right now. Two different things that we've seen. There's pending legislation regarding like kids on social media,
Cell phone use and those things.
The country of Australia banned people under the age of 16, I believe,
Right.
from even being on.
They moved ours to 17, but yes, it's still in process.
Yeah. And then, so parental control as it relates to kids being on social media and just saying, look, we're not going to let people less than this age be on it. You've had a couple of tragedies in the news where children are communicating with adults,
Yep.
kind of in this,
Which just happened in Noblesville.
yeah,
Right.
kind of a shady, a dark environment, and it's not good.
Right.
It's not good for the kids. It's definitely not good for anybody.
Which is how the pink alert is coming to be.
And then I we also have school issued devices. So my kids will bring home Chromebooks periodically, and we obviously want to have control of what they're consuming and what they're taking in. It's not good for them. They can get, just like I can be obsessed,
Oh, I know.
be on my device,
And
way
time
too much.
slips
Yeah.
away. Time slips away.
It's not good for people,
Right.
Right. We know it's an addictive. It's an addictive thing, not unlike drugs or alcohol.
Right.
So
It
keeping
works in
away
the
from kids.
amygdala.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I mean, is this something that you would want to see the parents have more control over what their children are taking in? Do you want there to be a flat ban? Like, what are your thoughts?
No, I think parents definitely need to have more control. So it's interesting. Last night I was at the AIM dinner and I was sitting with a couple of gentlemen, and the one was talking about his 14-year-old. And he was saying, if I take the cell phone away for 1 hour, he said, my child gets really is like this. And he said, it's physically affecting him to not be able to check his social media constantly. And we were talking about that. And we were actually talking about this exact thing. And he said, being a parent is being a parent. So you're there to guide, instruct, lead, direct your children. And he said, I'm not sure what I should do here. And I said, well, maybe weigh it out. So you're the bad parent for 21 days, break that habit. But in 10 years, he's thanking you for it. Or do you bend to his will and want, and then in 10 years when he's playing games in your basement and doesn't get a job, you're going to be the parent that says, man, I wish I had. I definitely think the parents need to have more control over that.
I agree. And it seems like schools and parents are coming to the state legislature and be like, fix this problem. I mean, it's out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, if my brain is supposedly fully formed, I'm in my 40s, but my 12-year-old, he does not have a fully formed brain. It's harder for him to just put something away or turn something off. But also they say like the pathways in your brain get modified.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Yeah.
As you're using this stuff, it's addictive and it's not good for kids.
Even in, we talk about faith, right? So even as we're growing up, we create patterns through our brain. And then people are like, when you have a relationship with the Lord and you begin to read your word and you're like, maybe I was doing gossip. Let's use gossip. That's a pretty safe one. So maybe I'm a gossiper and I read the word and it's like, don't gossip. And I'm like, oh, now you got to change that whole pattern. And that's a scientific fact. Like, that's not something I'm just saying. That's a sign. There's neural pathways, right? That's what's happening with the kids on these phones. They are creating these neural pathways that are causing them to have, as you said, an addiction, because it's the oxytocin that's released when they get a high of
somebody liked my whatever.
Exactly. And they can't, they're children. They don't comprehend that. They don't have experience. They don't have the ability to say, oh, this is bad for me. Right? They just know that feeling. And so what's that rush? And then how do I keep getting that rush?
Oxytocin.
Yes.
Get that hit. And then it goes away. And then I got to check every 5 minutes.
Correct.
To see if somebody likes the picture of my cat or whatever it is.
Exactly right.
Or the picture of me. And when people don't like it, it bothers me. When people do like it, I'm like, oh, well, I'm great.
Well, and if I'm being completely transparent, I've done that myself. Oh, hey, I put this on. I wonder how many people like this. Is really cool. Yeah. And then I posted something recently. I'm like, you really don't know joy and happiness until you realize you don't have to worry about what other people are thinking about you. You really don't.
No, and it's hard. I mean, everybody loves to be loved, and we want to. I'm liked, or somebody put a heart on my thing, like that makes you feel good. But
then it brings me to another question though. So when my kids were growing up, the rule was they were not allowed to have their phones at the dinner table, period. We sat down for dinner every night as a family. I cooked a meal. We did not have phones, right? And it was sometimes tough for them. But here's my question is, why do they have to have the likes and the loves on their social media? Where are we missing it somewhere?
Oh, it's a natural, it goes, I think, a little bit to what I was saying. Everyone loves to feel loved.
Right.
We like to be liked. But
are we disconnecting with our children? Is there a disconnect in the home?
I'm not doing a good job. I've got the same problems that my teens have. I just have a fully formed head, so I should be able to put it away faster. But if it's hard for me, it's bound to be hard for them. I
think there's less time around the kitchen table.
Oh, for sure.
With our kids, there's less playing board games. There's less time outside. I remember when the boys were little and David would go out back, and they were hitting the baseball and playing. And we did think there's not a lot of that anymore today.
Okay, so I want to talk about that.
Okay.
Because there's this dual idea. There's a book called The Anxious Generation. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I haven't. That sounds interesting.
Generation. I think the thesis would be that kids are underprotected.
Okay.
On electronic devices in the e-world, social media, etc., on the internet. Underprotected in that world and overprotected in the real world. Like kids can't go outside and play. They like wrap them in bubble
wrap them. Yeah. Don't let them climb the tree. They might fall. Well,
so as it relates to the social media, we kind of covered that. But I want to know, there's also an effort to let kids be kids. We talked a little bit about that earlier.
Yep.
Your thoughts on letting kids be kids?
I think trial and error is the best teacher in this world, right? So, people want to protect.
Let them go outside and play ball.
Exactly. We want to protect them from everything, but yet when I touch something hot, I know not to touch it again, right? Yeah. When I climb a tree and I fall, I know, hey, next time, don't go so high. Different things like that. Sure. I think, when I wrote, how many times, okay, I'm just making a confession here. When we were in high school, we stood on the front of the car. Do you remember car surfing? We stood on the front of the hood of the car and drove down the road surfing.
Back to the Future.
Yeah. So, but we lived, right? And sometimes we got bumps and bruises. But
yeah, there's obviously there are problems when you make a bad decision. Sure. But you oftentimes learn from failing.
Exactly.
You learn when you get hurt. And you don't do it again.
Right.
I wrote about it in the paper, letting kids be kids. I just think about the things that I did as a kid, just like
my goodness, yes.
Versus like it's acceptable now. Definitely the goalposts have moved, and people will do it from a position of love, that they don't want these kids that are out. Like that's we even saw it in COVID. Like kids were outside again because they weren't in school.
They didn't have any. Yeah, they didn't have. Mom, dad could. What was that old? Remember the Christmas song about sending the kids back to school? Yeah, sure. So when I was a kid, I could take off on my horse early in the morning on a Saturday, and I'd go down to Sugar Creek and I'd build her a little pen out of the branches and stuff, right? And I'd be gone all day. I'd have my lunch packed and I'd come back. Now, I would be a little concerned about that today. I was probably in my teens, early teens, 12, 13. I would be a little bit concerned about that today just because there is so much more evil in the world and people seem to be seared in their conscience. But I also, went out back and climbed all the way to the very top of the pine tree and then got stuck because it was easy going up and it was hard coming down. Whereas today I've had parents who I've seen and heard parents say, don't get on that branch and it's just a low branch. Don't do that. You might fall. And I just think there's a real, like you said, bubble wrapping is keeping our kids from expanding. Plus creativity. Yeah. Creativity is built in doing those things.
For sure. Yeah, you don't get creativity from scrolling.
You don't.
You get it when you do something. At times when you're bored. Mm-hmm. Kids don't have the opportunity to get bored.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, but the let's kid to close the loop and let kids be kids thing, it's changing what the standard is for parents being neglectful. Mm-hmm. Like maybe now, like if you let your 12 or 13-year-old daughter take a horse somewhere, mm-hmm. Someone would say, "Well, I don't like Kristi; she's being neglectful."
Right.
As a parent, I don't see that as neglectful. I see it's the parents making a decision if the child is interested in doing it. Now, there's certainly you would be reckless if you let a 12 or 13-year-old go a significant distance, mm-hmm. be out on the interstate on a horse, whatever the case may be. That's reckless, mm-hmm. potentially. But it's changing the standard so that we're very clear on what the standard is for you to have been acting in a neglectful manner as a parent.
Yeah, and I think that's a big key is there's a difference between being neglectful. I don't feed my kid for 3 days. I don't give them a shower. I don't provide their necessary. That's neglect, right? But allowing a child to be a child, that's not neglect.
That's a big deal. Yeah. And it's been weaponized when it's vague. People will call and just say something about someone they don't mm-hmm. like or someone they don't like. And it's a problem. And the fear. So I see a lot of fear in our society. So decisions are driven by fear. So the judge is afraid that, if I don't, change this, or the senators, the House reps or something, they're afraid if I don't pass this law, then I'm not going to get reelected, or, somebody's going to be mad at me. There's a lot of fear-based things in our society. We have a lot of tendency to allow fear to drive our decisions. So I want to talk about that because one of the things I talked with Senator Bassler about a lot at the end of the year was the redistricting effort. Mm-hmm. Do you care to share your thoughts on that, or do you want to talk about it? Is that something
I don't care.
Okay. I think reasonable minds can differ as it relates to that. Mm-hmm. I know some people would say that, well, we have to do this. Mm-hmm. If you don't do it, you're not going to get reelected. Mm-hmm. Maybe. My opinion was that, can I say?
Yeah, you can say what your opinion was.
my opinion was that
it's your podcast.
local decision making, mm-hmm. Good policy mm-hmm. at the local level is good politics. Mm-hmm. So if we do a good job of passing good policies people like and care about, that's when you get reelected. Mm-hmm. Just to sort of change something, mm-hmm. I struggled with that. Mm-hmm. If there was just a ton of constituents who were calling mm-hmm. and asking for this, then mm-hmm. maybe you look harder at it. But it wasn't my understanding that was the case. So I guess reasonable minds mm-hmm. could go either way on the redistricting vote.
Absolutely.
It was overwhelmingly a nay vote, mm-hmm. even with the Republicans. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Democrats were going to vote
mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
But even in the Republicans, mm-hmm. I think there's, 40 of them, and I think it was around 40, and I think less than 15 mm-hmm. voted. Less than 15 voted to mm-hmm. redistrict. Mm-hmm. So, do you care to pontificate or talk about that? Or
well, at the end of the day, the senators have the prerogative, right, to vote and they can do it however they want. They can poll their district. They can call their, leadership commissioners. They can do whatever and they can make their own decision based on whatever their belief system is. A lot of them I know were very 10th Amendment. They really wanted to stand up for this. That's what I heard a lot as I talked to a lot of the no votes. It was like, we're a 10th Amendment. This is a state's issue. This isn't something we want the federal government coming in. That was what I heard from them. The people that were saying yes, some of them were saying, hey, I've got a re-election coming up. And some of them were saying, I just want to support the president. And I think at the end of the day, it's the prerogative of each person in there to do what they feel is right, for their district. But at the end of that, right, we have a state to run. We've got a lot of things that we need to do. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen in this state. And what I don't want to see and what I'm concerned about is the division that's happening because of one vote, and how some people are being accused of not being conservative on one vote. Yet, if you look at their entire history, they voted conservative every time. They were a pro-life vote, yes. Were they a pro-liberty vote? Yes. Were they RIF a vote? Yes. Second Amendment, and yes. And they check all those boxes. But because you don't check this one box, all of a sudden you're not a conservative. I was called a rhino. I've been in this longer than most of those people up there at the State House. I've been doing this since I was 18, and I'm old now.
Yeah, and the Tea Party movement, and like someone that pushed back on an eminent domain.
I got 3 boys in the military, and I was, exactly.
It's something that we call people when we don't like them if we're in the Republican Party. And you talked about the 10th Amendment. That's I think you're referring to the 11th Amendment, which was the powers of that aren't specifically left to the federal government.
Well, yes, but I was talking about state rights. 10th Amendment,
okay. Enumerated powers of
that too. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But also, even like Ronald Reagan would say,
he would say,
not talk
about your fellow Republican.
So, rhino has become something of a slur, a 4-letter word of sorts to just talk about somebody you don't like. It's not really. It's hard to know what it means, right? And it's oftentimes used unfairly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Something you mentioned earlier, because this relates to faith, culture, and politics. You talked about evil in the world, and I wrote that down. You said.
Okay.
Now, I do think, and I'm just going to say my opinion. There's no moral progress that we see. I mean, you read the beginning of the Bible, the Old Testament. There's some bad people.
Yeah, you're right.
You have to read very long,
all the way through.
There's some bad dudes. Cain,
right at the
Abel,
brothers. Yeah.
There's the fallen nature of man, the depravity of man is it's consistent.
Yeah. And it's repeated, right? So that depravity is always going to be there, but then you have these little pockets or snippets of whatever where people come back and they're like, oh, I want to follow a moral obligation, and then you see it again.
Oh, too good. I don't know if people are marginally more depraved now. I mean, you definitely see terrible acts, but we've seen terrible acts in all of recorded history. You see good things in all of recorded history and things. So I don't know. I don't know if we're cycling down or it's largely the same as what it was.
I think okay, so like when our parents, which I'm older than you, but when I was young.
I don't know about that. I'm not going to guess how
I'm not going to tell my age.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, everybody went to church. Right? Everybody went to church. Even if I didn't want to go to church, Mom would say, you live in this house, I'm feeding you, I'm clothing you, you're going to church. Yeah. So even if I had a little bit of rebellion in me, I still was hearing this moral obligation to do right.
That God is real and that you are not God. And
that your neighbors are important.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
To love God and to love neighbor.
Yes.
That isn't an obligation that exists outside of me.
Right.
So if I'm just thinking about me and I'm like, I don't want to go to church. My parents are like, whatever, you're 10 now. You can make decisions.
Right.
No, when you were growing up, everybody
all the way till I was 18.
Yeah, everybody went.
Yes.
If they were told to go.
Yes.
But there are a lot of, there's a diminishing attendance in a lot of houses of worship. I was listening to a podcast on the New York Times about, in some denominations, it's going up, but many mainline Christian denominations is going
Declining.
down.
Yeah. And so my point to that is not that church is the answer, but the fact that that moral framework that you were hearing right versus wrong helped drive decisions, I think. And without that, I mean, if you have no exposure to that, you're going to naturally, not everybody, but most of the time you're going to naturally gravitate towards selfishness, which leads to more evil. And I think we see, I mean, I think nobody would decline to say that there's been an increase in evil.
Yeah, there's I don't know how it could be measured, but anecdotally, I completely agree with you. You know, it's hard to measure. I think people are largely the same. You also hear about more stuff.
You do, and social media doesn't help.
Social media is. Yeah. There's pictures of babies. That's nice. There's pictures of animals. That's nice. But
I like those.
It's kind of garbage.
It's really a facade.
So, okay, you talked a little bit about the Crane facility as being important. I did hear some news that maybe there would be movement on nuclear at Crane, and that's positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you care to talk about, and we've got a few more minutes here, and then we're going to start kind of winding it down. Any other things that get you excited about being in the Senate?
Yeah, how about taking some things away?
Okay.
There's some really silly things on our books, and it would be nice if we could, have an opportunity to look at maybe pulling back some of the regulations. I mean, as a small business owner, there's a lot of regulations on small businesses that are just unnecessary, right? They're just licensing's huge. And I think, like a hairdresser, right, has to have a license. I just think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of things that we could, we could withdraw that would help people. So I think that's one of the things that's really good. There's a lot of opportunity to work with other legislatures and educate them as well. I think I'm going to be really good at encouraging them to, hey, you need to get out in your community and talk to your people. Hey, we don't just sit behind. I think I can help kind of stir and motivate some of that conversation as well.
And you're doing a lot of that work now. I think you'll be good at getting out and talking to constituents.
I love that. That's why my hair's a mess. I was sitting on it's all windy today, and I was on the back porch with a lady before I came here.
Other policy things, school choice. I mean, that debate is largely done.
Yes, it is. It is. But I think the tax dollars just need to follow the child, right? Okay. So you're paying your tax dollars, the tax dollars need to follow your child. I think there may be some opportunity to work a little bit with homeschooling so that they get a little bit more credit than what they're getting because they don't get very much. Yeah.
Did your kids go to public school, homeschool, private school?
So my daughter was homeschooled the whole time. My boys were homeschooled part of the time, and then they attended public school part of the time.
Okay. Owen County schools?
Yes.
Okay.
So my oldest son was under Wesco, Timothy Wesco, when he first put the bill in that said they only have to take one class so they can play a sport. But they all chose, like Dylan took 3 classes, so they enjoyed that.
Very good. Yeah, Wesco's he's a pastor?
Yes.
He's in the State House.
Yes.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Good guy.
Okay, let's see. Educational freedom is a big deal.
It is.
I think religious freedom is obviously important.
Absolutely.
It's kind of ebb and flow. I mean, it seems like in the Indianapolis area, the mindset's slightly different about that. Even under RFRA under the Pence administration, that happened, and there was like dramatic. It was almost like a gotcha moment, or this like dramatic.
Again, I think a lot of that stuff happens out of fear too. How are people going to view me? How are my constituents going to receive this? I know one of the things, like the pro-life battle, right? Everybody feels like, oh, the pro-life battle's done. Well, not necessarily. We do have a pill that they can take. What's
that called? Mifepristone?
The pill. I'm not sure exactly what the technical term is, but I know that they can get it through the mail. Right. And so there's actually a potential. So just recently I had a whole group of pregnancy directors into the State House. So there were some, in fact, your Daviess County came. There were some from the South, some from the North.
Rebecca Moeller.
Yes. Yeah. And they came to the State House and met with the Lieutenant Governor just to kind of share some feedback. So what are you seeing? What is your roadblock? What kind of services are you providing? And that was very enlightening for him. He's very pro-life, and he knows a lot about what's going on in pro-life, but hearing it from the boots on the ground is important.
Mike Fichter lives in Davis County. I think he still does.
Yes.
State director of Indiana Right to Life.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, Zach Rogers was there that day from up in, I think he's in Adams County, but he was talking about, the importance of, we can't just, on any of our issues, we can't just sit down and say, oh, we're done now.
It's extremely important. To
we have
think
to be
that
vigilant.
to think that the effort is over because of the Dobbs case,
right?
Supreme Court, it got returned to the states. The states are still making decisions about what's good and right and proper.
When I ran in 2010, I said I ran on we can overturn Roe v. Wade, and people laughed at me. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, I was just ahead of my time.
15 years ahead of your time. We're going to shut her down a little bit, and I just wanted to know if there's anything that you'd like to say to constituents or to the public ahead of us ending this. You did a really nice job. Didn't really give you like a great script to work off of,
I didn't have any script. What are you talking about?
Well, I like to talk 20 minutes kind of in like public affairs, and we can talk more specific policy.
No, I just think, our district just has it's been the redheaded stepchild for a long time, right? And I just think that I'm seeing the potential. And one of the things that I want to do running for this office, because a lot of people think, oh, you run for Senate and you just get to make laws. No, I want to be connected to the district, right? I want to know the people in the district. The people in District 39 are amazing. The opportunities for District 39 are amazing. And I want to network those people and the legislatures that we have here, your commissioners, your county council, your EDC, those different type of things, and all of the district. I want to connect them to the people that they need to work with in Indianapolis or anywhere else in the state to help them be successful. And I think I have the ability to do that.
For sure. I know you've been very outspoken on a handful of topics for the conservative cause, and I appreciate that very much.
I mean, I'm a true conservative. I've proven it. Like, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, you have been doing it for a long time. I mean, when you grow up in this world, it's hard to then have somebody call you a rhino, and you're like, what?
I know. I was like, whatever.
And you do your best. A lot of it's going to be turnout, organization.
Yes.
Getting people to tell them who to vote for and why.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's this. This is the best campaign.
It is. And being accessible. So I have my phone number out everywhere.
Okay.
And people, they'll call it and they'll be like, is this really Kristi Risk? And I'm like, yes. Like, it really is my number, because how else can I be connected to the district unless I have accessibility?
Sure.
And I'm not afraid to talk to anybody.
Do you want to tell people what the phone number is, or do you want me to put it in the show notes, or what do you?
You can do both. So it's 812-821-2490, and that is my direct line.
Okay. And just today, I think you told me you were down here for an event.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at your Women's Republican Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you being down. Appreciate your time. Really want to get like all the Senate candidates and sort of put those out roughly the same time.
Yeah.
Get the House candidates, put those out
That'd
at the
be
same
great.
time.
Yeah, because you've got a competitive House race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got all sorts of things. I mean, I was told too, you got to do this before the primary. You got to get it out a certain time. And I'm like, well, it'll get out there when it gets out there.
Yeah. So and one of the things I tell, and so I already asked Senator Bassler, when I have questions, can I come back and ask you, if things are going, and other senators. I have a lot of mentors up there. I think that's one of the things that I bring that's different than the other two that are running in my race, because I've already got those relationships, right? I've been working with the senators. Well, I helped with a couple of bills already this year. So I think that gives me an advantage over who I'm running against.
It's your opponent. Okay. There's 3 people running in the race.
Yeah. So I have those networks that I can bring in. So when I walk in on day one, I'm already ready to start working.
Tell me about the legislation, if you can, the stuff that you got through that you were excited about.
Stuff that I got to help on. Yeah. So one of them was the doxing bill. So I got to help a little bit with that. And then Senator.
What's doxing? Sorry.
So it's like putting your information out online and then harm coming back as a result of it. So encouraging somebody to knock in your doors or calling in a SWAT, false information or something, so that which we had a lot of. But it wasn't about that. I originally did it because of the police officer. So I was trying, when I very first went to the leadership and talked to them about it, was like last July, before any of that ever happened. It just happened to fall in that way. But And then with the Bears bill, so I got to help just a little tiny bit with that one. And so, but I got to be in
Trying
on
to get the
and seeing
Chicago
it.
Bears
Yes.
to Gary.
So that was just going to be Hampton, but that was Senator Mishler, and he did a lot of work on that, and is very, very careful, very pragmatic, very thoughtful. Wants to see the state succeed, but like I just got to be part of hearing some of that stuff on the inside, and that was very, very interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
so tell me what are the odds that Indiana gets the Chicago Bears?
I think they're very strong.
Okay,
I
better
do.
than 50%.
Yeah, I think so. Because we just have more to offer. We just have a lot more to offer than what Illinois does. And we've got the infrastructure up there for it. So it'll be interesting.
I wouldn't go against Senator Mishler. I wouldn't go against Governor Braun as it relates to getting something.
Yep.
Okay.
They're working really close together on this. So I'm really super excited about it. It'll be a win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have to have, what would they call that? The I-65 rivalry with the Colts.
Yes, they would.
Between
be interesting what they'd be called. What do you think they would be called?
Scary Gary Bears.
Scary Gary Bears. But they're not going to be in Gary. They're going to be in Hammond. You're going to have to come up with something else.
It's still the Chicagoland Bears. How about
Chicagoland Bears.
The region.
They're still there. I mean, it's still close. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's just the very fact that we got it through.
Any other legislation that you worked on? That's interesting.
No, those are. I mean, there's things I got to be part of and privy to, and learn and see how those things played out. But it's very interesting. And the senators have all been very gracious to answer questions when I have them. So,
okay, this is something I asked some other people.
Okay,
anybody on the other side of the aisle you would consider a friend or someone that you talk to?
Greg Taylor.
Greg Taylor.
Senator Greg Taylor. I tease him all the time, so I'll pass
He's
him.
a lawyer.
He is, and real estate.
Okay.
And I'll pass him in the hall and be like, how's my favorite new Republican? He's like, yeah. But
So
he actually does have some pretty conservative viewpoints.
I'm going to give him a hard time. You pass this along to him. So at Senator Bassler's retirement, Senator Taylor spoke glowingly, warmly about Bassler, but he kept calling Eric's son, Will, he's one of the trainers for the IU basketball team. He kept calling him the other son's name, Nick. Oh. So I laughed every time he said it. So I saw Will the other day. I was like, "What's going on, Nick?" He's like,
"That's hilarious."
So tell Greg.
Okay, I sure will.
Will is maybe 20 and Nick is like 15.
Okay.
But he was mixing them up.
That's funny.
Made me laugh. So. Anyways, thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
you're awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching The Juice by the Odin Journal. Tune in next week for more Davis County news, freshly squeezed.